I went to Egypt to find myself, but Egypt did something much deeper than I ever expected. Of course, I was blown away by the pyramids, the temples, and the incredible history that surrounded me. But what really stayed with me was not what I could just see, but what had been hidden. As I learned more about Egypt, I discovered that so many incredible treasures had been buried beneath the layers of sand, forgotten for centuries. In some places, entire villages were built on top of them. The treasures never really disappeared. No, they were simply covered over. And it wasn't until someone was willing to dig beneath the surface to clear away what had been piled on top of. That was the true beauty that was hidden beneath was finally revealed. And standing at the Egyptian Museum surrounded by over 120,000 antiques, some of them going back over 7,000 years, I found myself just staring, piece after piece after piece, the room after room, all of it kept preserved, waiting for someone to come and see it. And I remember thinking, I have treasures like that beneath me, not gold, not stone, but pieces of myself that I've kept, I've preserved, waiting for me to come and see it again. And when I stood at the foot of the pyramid, one of the seven wonders of the world, and I felt so small in the best way possible. Those structures have been stood for over 4,000 years. Wars have passed, empires have risen and fallen, and sandstone have come and gone, and still they stand exactly where they were built, refusing to be erased by time. And I remember thinking, if stone can hold this shape for 4,000 years, why did I let a few hard seasons convince me I've lost mine? The pyramid didn't need anyone's permission to still be standing, and neither did I. Standing there, I suddenly realized it isn't that exactly what happened to so many of us. We don't lose ourselves overnight. We slowly bury ourselves beneath other people's expectations, someone else's dream, while we quietly abandon our own. And I thought back to being a child at school, sitting in a classroom where I was never once asked what I dreamed of becoming. I was told. I was told what role I was meant to play out in life, what path made sense, what would be acceptable for someone like me. The dreams I actually carried, to travel the world, to see places with my own eyes, was stamped out before it even took root. Nobody sat me down and asked, what do you want to do with your life? They told me, and I believed them for a long time, because I was only a child, and that's what children do. And that is the part that hit me the hardest, standing there in the museum, in front of the old pieces, the old empire. Somewhere in me was a girl who wanted to travel the world, and somewhere along the way, I let other people bury her. And I know some of you out there are going to feel this deeply, because I did as well. And it's hard to admit, but sometimes your breakthrough, the breakthrough that you've been looking for, the real one, the one in your life, the change, the soul awakening, the one that cannot happen until you are ready to disappoint some people. And when I say disappoint people, I don't mean hurting them on purpose. Of course not. I mean being willing to stop living at the version of you everyone else becomes comfortable with. I mean being willing to let people misunderstand you, if that is the price of finally being at peace with yourself. Egypt was not a random trip for me. It was one of those places I've had dreamt about for years. But but like so many of you women, I kept putting it aside. One day I'll do it. Yeah. One day I'll travel. When everyone is okay, one day it will be my turn. When I've done enough, given enough, supported enough, helped enough, then I'll get that trip. And before you knew it, poof, years have passed. And life you kept promising yourself is still waiting. It's still buried. Layers of responsibility, guilt, and everyone else expectations. Much like the treasure of Egypt that was kept hidden, laying there waiting to be found centuries later. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with loving and being there for your family, your children, your friends, and your work and your community. But there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, am I loving people from a full heart, or am I abandoning myself so everyone else can feel safe? Because so many women are given a script when we were young. It may look different depending on your country, your culture, your family, but the message is often the same. Be good, be quiet, be useful. Don't ask for too much. Don't dream too loud. And the dangerous thing is, we get good at it. We get good at playing that role that we forget it is a role. We start repeating opinions our heart does not believe. We swallow our own truth. We swallow our dreams, and somewhere along the way, we disappear from our own life. Being in Egypt made me see that so clearly. Thousands of years have passed and the pyramid still stands. And there I was, one woman in one moment of my life, realizing I had already lost too much time waiting for permission to travel, permission to choose myself, permission to want more. And here is what I want you to understand. The breakdown you think you're having may not be you falling apart. It may be the beginning of your breakthrough. Sometimes when your soul gets tired of pretending, it starts rejecting the role that once kept you safe. That does not mean something is wrong with you. No. That means something inside of you is waking up. Transformation is like a rebirth. And yes, sometimes it is painful. It stretches you, it exposes you. But not every painful thing is there to destroy you. Some pain comes to break open the parts of you that were never free. And that is where so many of us get stuck. Because when you start changing, people may not be clapping for you. They may say to you that you're different, that you've changed. But what they really mean is that you have stopped being available for everything. You have stopped saying yes when your whole body is saying no. Sometimes what people call betrayal is actually you choosing truth. Sometimes what people call selfish is actually you finally setting boundaries. Because for me, the real betrayal was never disappointing people. It was abandoning myself and calling it loyalty when the price was my own peace. Calling it love when I had to stay silent to keep it. And at some point, I had to ask myself, am I willing? Am I willing to be misunderstood by others in order to finally be honest with myself? This is what Egypt reminded me of. As I walked through the temple, felt the heat, the dust, and the noise, the beauty, the chaos, and I kept thinking, I'm still here. I am still here. After everything I've been through, after the heartbreak, after forgetting who I was for a while, I'm still here. I'm still alive. And I'm still standing. And not only am I standing, I am dreaming again. I am choosing me again. I am becoming her again. Maybe your Egypt is not my Egypt. Maybe it's that solo weekend away you've kept putting off. Maybe it's a dress you tell yourself you're too old, you're too big to wear. Maybe it's the business idea sitting in your notebook. Maybe it's the therapy that you've been putting off. Maybe it's leaving a relationship that has been draining the life out of you. Maybe it's going out for that meal alone and realizing your own company is not something to fear. Whatever your Egypt is, stop waiting for everyone to understand it before you choose it. You are a woman with dreams, fire, wisdom, softness, strength, and a life that still belongs to you. And I know it can feel lonely at first. When you stop wearing the mask, not everyone knows how to respond to your real face. But as you become more honest, you make space for the right people to find you. People who don't need you to shrink. People who love you, really love you, not just the youthful you. And most importantly, you start finding yourself. Not the version trained to survive, not the version that had to be strong all the time. The real you, the woman who has been waiting underneath all the expectation, all the fears, all the old stories. So, yes, your breakthrough may feel uncomfortable, but maybe that discomfort is sacred. Maybe it's not here to destroy you. Maybe it's here to clear the space, because when the smoke clears, you may realize that this was never betrayal. This was becoming. So today, my loves, I want you to remember healing isn't about becoming someone new. Healing is about becoming the author of your own life, gently brushing away years of expectation, guilt, and people pleasing until you uncover the woman who was there all along. Because just like the treasures of Egypt, your worth was never lost. It was simply buried. And honestly, that's a lot of why I wanted to bring you into this trip with me. Not just to show you the pyramid, but to show you what they uncover in me. And if you want to see it for yourself, I've put together the highlights of my solo travel in Egypt on my Instagram. So my beautiful queens, my name is Estella. Thank you for being here with me. This is Redefine Her World, where we rise together, we walk together, one step at a time, redefine our world the way it should be. So if you know there's another woman out there that needs this video, please don't forget to like, share, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you, my loves. Bye.